Okay, so UConn just blew out Utah. Let's talk about it. Starting off with UConn, and one of my goats, Azzi Fudd, as I always do. I got my Azzi Fudd jersey on for the occasion, okay? But she played 27 minutes. She had 24 points, 9 of 11 shooting. I love it. Super efficient. 4-4 from the three-point line. Did not miss from the three-point line. We love it. 2-2 free throws. 8 rebounds. I believe that's a career high for Azzi. Okay, so just love to see it. Okay, she was fine for the rebounds. Her rebounds really been going up. Okay, and that's something I really appreciate. She had 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block. Okay, so yeah, Azzi did a little bit of everything. Azzi did a little bit of everything, okay? You saw the playmaking, the assists that she was able to get. They be selling her assist child, but just how efficient that she is from the floor. Like I said, she didn't miss from the three-point line. You saw her have, I believe, multiple minis in the game. You saw her drive to the basket and finish in that way. So I just love to see the diversity in her scoring, and I love to see her leaning more into that mini. So that was something that was really pleasing to me overall. Her defense is so good, it doesn't get talked about enough. And like I said, a lot of it doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but somehow she became even more of a lockdown defender than she already was last year, which is absolutely insane. Because if you watch enough Azzi tape, you know how excellent of a defender that she is. But yeah, she just did everything. From a shooting perspective, like I said, assisting, rebounding as well, the defense and everything. Azzi's just so good. Azzi's just so good. And I really agree with my friend that Azzi taking this extra year was an excellent decision for a multitude of reasons. Just seeing healthy Azzi Fudd dominate and do what she does best is always a treat, okay? And I will say this, but they should get her some more shots. They should get her some more shots, okay? And there's just times where I see her wide open in the corner. They don't even look her way. I get frustrated. This is something that I repeat in every single video, and I'm still seeing it. So you see those things, okay? And yeah, she didn't even play the fourth quarter. That's how dominant that UConn was in this game, but Azzi's just so good. On to some of my favorite Azzi plays from this game. This 3, loved it. And I love this. I believe this is like a layup or floater moment she had. I love this one. Then this one, okay, great play. Also, I believe that this was her block, so I love to see it. She doesn't get a whole lot of blocks, but it's always a treat. I believe this was a steal that she got in the game, period. Also, this one as well, I believe this is a 3 that she had. And yeah, during this game, you saw Azzi creating her own shot a lot. Like I said, there were some more shots that they could have got her. But you saw her kind of flip a switch at one point. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. Taking it to the basket, getting the middies, getting the threes like I talked about. And she's someone who's great at creating her own shot. Some people like to say that Azzi can't create her own shot. Since when is being an elite catch and shoot 3-point shooter a bad thing? Azzi showed multiple times that she can create her own shot. She showed it again today, so I have to say that. And she did get MVP again this afternoon, which rightfully so for the game. Also, this is Azzi Fudd over her last 3 games, okay? 24 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 3-pointers made, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 7 of 12 3-pointers made, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 of 9 3-pointers made, okay? You see the consistency, you see the consistency. Like I said, an Azzi Fudd that is healthy is an Azzi Fudd that is extremely hard to beat and very much elite, okay? Like people said, playing like that #1 overall pick. And we get in the lottery later today. I will make a video about that. I just saw this for Azzi, but she is literally now shooting 54.7% from 3 on the season, okay? And one of my friends was saying this, and I really agree with her, but this is also impressive because Azzi takes like 7 to 8 3-pointers a game. At the very least, as she should, because she's an excellent 3-point shooter. So her efficiency from 3 and her efficiency in general, and she's just really been lighting it up lately. So just wanted to appreciate that. And one of my mutuals said Azzi isn't glazed enough, and I would agree, okay? I would agree. That's why I try to, you know, turn it up in these reviews, because there's no limit to the glaze. We take a look at Sarah Strong, baby goat, okay? She played for 20 minutes, 15 points, 6 of 10 shooting, super efficient, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, 2 free throws, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, 2 blocks, okay? Sarah doing what she always does, stuff in the stat sheet, being able to finish at the rim, at the 3-point line. I think she took a really nice midi in this game as well, so I love to see her taking more of those, and I hope to see more mid-ranges from Sarah in the future, because I feel like that's kind of a cheat code for her. And defensively, she's so good as well, okay? Those blocks that she had was tea. And then just talking about her facilitating and everything, like Sarah Strong, one of the best players in women's college basketball right now. So Sarah Strong, just being phenomenal and consistent as she always is. And then Sarah Williams, we had 16 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 6 shooting, no threes, no free throws, 8 rebounds. We had 3 assists, 4 turnovers. I did not know that. 1 steal, 2 block, 3 offensive rebound, 5 defensive rebound. Like I said, she got to step it up. When they double team you in the post, she has to take advantage of the defense collapsing in on her and kick it out to the open shooter. That's something that she's not doing enough. Like I said, I want to see her taking more mid-range jump shots, and I would like to see her taking more threes. She's not doing that. You have to be able to stretch the floor and everything, especially in a game like this, and everything. So yeah, those are things that I need to see her doing more, and she just be having some negative plays and just missing some easy shots that she should cash in on. So yeah, like I said, she got to step it up. You know, there's just some things that are frustrating me about her play as of late. And then we look at Ashlin, 23 minutes, 8 points, 4 of 9 shooting, no threes. We had No free throws made, 2 rebound, I believe, 3 assists, no turnover, 2 steal, 0 block. We had 1 offensive rebound. We had 1 defensive rebound. Ashlin Shea just frustrates me. She really does. How many times a game do they get her those open threes that she just can't seem to cash in on, okay? And there was a point she had more shot attempts than AZ. This is not what the fans wanted to see. No, Michael Jordan. So that's number 1. And then 2, just some of the low IQ plays that she has offensively and defensively. I swear there was a play in this game, AZ wide open in the corner, ignores her. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You get AZ the ball when you see she's wide open. Like I said, I get repetitive in these reviews, but there's no way you looked and you saw AZ open and you did not get her the ball in that moment. She had some assists to her later in the game, as, you know, rightfully so she should. But like my friend said, she'd be having like 2 shots early in the game, and then you don't really hear from her afterwards. So just some negative things that she does offensively, the fouls that she catches and not getting the ball out to the right people, the shot selection I'm not loving, and then defensively she be getting beat, and just low IQ stuff overall. And 2 things from the last game that I forgot to talk about. Number 1, there was this one play. AZ, I believe, got the steal. She was getting the ball up in transition. She was going to pass it to Ashlin. Ashlin wasn't looking at her. And so then she turns it over. Anytime you get in a transition situation, you should be looking at who has the ball, because they're going to want to lead in a fast break situation or whatever. Or maybe you give them the ball and then they get it back. And so it kind of sets up the defense in a different way. So it's like that. And then the second thing is that one play at the end. I believe AZ got the steal. She passed it to Ashlin. Ashlin literally turned it over. And Michigan, thank God they didn't make the shot. But it's plays like that. Just low IQ plays, like I said, in an extended period of time. She is just not making a huge difference for this team, and just low IQ plays that she has offensively, defensively, not boxing out and getting the rebound sometimes, the foul trouble, all those other things. I don't know why she still starts for this team. Okay, if you actually watch these games, you understand my frustration with Ashlin Shade and how often she gets beat defensively and all the other things that I talked about. And then we look at KK Arnold, 20 minutes, 7 points, 3 of 4 shooting. We had 1 3-pointer. This was in garbage time, by the way, no shade. And then there was no free throws. We had 1 rebound, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, 4 steals, 0 blocks, 0 offensive rebound, 1 defensive rebound, 3 personal fouls. She didn't play a whole lot in regulation because she got in foul trouble. She picked up 2 early fouls, and so he sat her a lot, and then he did a lot of different rotations, which I'll kind of talk about later in this review and everything. But again, it's the same thing that I have to say for KK. She just takes too long to get going. Times where I see AZ open where she's not getting her the ball, the offensive sets that she's running, and like I said, it's sometimes where it's like I see a point guard who's not comfortable facilitating and having the ball in her hands as well. And there was this one play in the game, she got the ball in transition, and what are you supposed to do in transition? Supposed to look for your shooter, which she didn't do, and she went and then she missed a layup. These are things that I'm talking about in regards to that in terms of a facilitation standpoint. She can have some nice stuff on defense, but she has to step it up more with the scoring. And someone in my last video was talking about y'all are expecting her to be Paige. Nobody asked her to be Paige. We're asking her to be a serviceable point guard, for her to find her shooters, and for her to put up at least 10 points per game. We're not asking for the world, and people are talking about the pressure of this. No shade, she should feel the pressure. It's the 3rd year. It's the 3rd year, okay? Just some negative stuff that she's doing offensively in this game, and just not finding her shooters enough, and just some of the plays that she has. Like, she's just a better spark off the bench. I just get frustrated watching KK Arnold play, and I'm glad that we got to see some different rotations without her on the floor. Okay, so that's my take on KK Arnold's performance. Already talked about GOAT. Then we look at Blanca. She played 18 minutes, 21 points, 8 of 11 shooting. You know, fantastic for her. 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, 2 free throws. We had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, no block, 1 offensive rebound, 4 defensive rebounds. Blanca played excellent. Okay, I believe she finally got to play more in this game, which is what I was looking for last time in the Michigan game. I thought she should have played more, and I said that. But you just see how much of a spark off the bench she is, and I really think that she should be starting. She had that and 1, just the assist that she's able to get, and just the variety of ways you're able to score. You know, you saw the 3 that she was able to have in this game as well, and she's somebody who can really stuff the stat sheet. She's somebody who can really stuff the stat sheet. Only 1 turnover, which is good for her. So yeah, like I said, she really needs to be in the starting lineup. I felt this way. Maybe it's just trying to get her some more in-game experience and everything, and making sure that she's consistently chopping down on the turnovers and everything before he makes that decision. But I really think that she should start. I think that she was really positive for this team today, and I really think that she is starting to become that 3rd scorer that we were looking for this UConn team. So I think awesome things for Blanca today. Really love what I'm seeing for her overall and what she can do, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. I think that she brings a lot of juice off the bench right now. And we look at Yana, I believe 2 minutes and then no recorded stats. So she only played in garbage time, but not much to say. Jana, she played 13 minutes. She had 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. No 3-pointers, no free throws. We had 2 rebounds. We had 0 assists. We had 3 turnover. We had 0 steal. I believe 1 block in this game as well. 0 offensive rebound and 2 defensive rebound. She got to be better at times. There's just sometimes sometimes where it's like, these are shots that we should easily make, or sometimes the vision or a defense thing or some of the dumb downs that she picks up. So, you know, gotta be better. She's only getting limited minutes, so it's just hard for me to say much about her performance. And then we continue on. So we got Khalees Fisher. She had 8 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 3 shooting, no 3-pointers made, 0 free throws, 1 rebound, I believe, 1 assist, 0 turnover, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 offensive rebound, 1 defensive rebound. I was glad to see her getting a couple minutes earlier in the game because, like I said, she needs a little bit of time in more meaningful situations. And so I think she's going to learn. I think you can see some positive stuff from her. It's going to take some more time, but I'm glad that she was getting to get her feet wet and something that wasn't garbage time. So I'll say that about Khalees, and I like that he was giving her some more time a little bit. We look at K9, 22 minutes, 0 points, 0-2 from the floor, 0-1 3-pointers, and we also had 0-0 free throws. We had 2 rebounds, 4 assists, which is awesome, 1 turnover. We had 3 steals, 0 blocks. And so, yeah, from a scoring perspective, K9 got to do better. The shots that I'm seeing her take, I actually don't think that they're bad shots. She just has to make them in. Where's my demon that was giving me like 10, 12 points a game? So got to see those things 100%. And like I said, she has to be better from a scoring perspective. Everywhere else, I think she was able to be positive on an offensive perspective, on a defensive perspective, able to stuff the stat sheet, which is something that I like to see from K9. From a scoring, have to be better 100%, which is something that I said these past few games, 3 or 4 games. She hasn't really been there for the scoring, and that's been disappointing for me. And then the second thing is I feel like he's trying so hard to get KK integrated in the offense and everything and get her comfortable with it more now that she's back starting again, that it's really affecting the rest of the offense and K9's minutes and how everyone else plays with each other as well, which I'll talk about a little bit more later, and I'll explain a little bit more, but, you know, got to step it up. I have to be honest. Then we look at Ali Isabel. We had 19 minutes, 10 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. We had 1 rebound, I believe, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 0 steals, 0 block. Ali Isabel, I don't know, she didn't do a whole lot this game. Honestly, her defense was not moving me, and I'm pretty sure most of this was in garbage time. I can't really take garbage time seriously if I'm going to be real. So, you know, we'll see what happens in the next game. Her shot just hasn't been great. And then we look at Caroline Ducharme, 11 minutes, 2 points, 0-4 field goal, 0-3 from the 3-point line. We had 2 free throws, 1 rebound, 1 assist, I believe 0 turnover, 1 steal, 0 block, 0 offensive rebound, 1 defensive rebound. Yeah, I'm just going to move on from that one. Here's everyone's stats from Utah. I'm just going to read the points. Okay, so we got Ross, 0 points, Evans, 0 points, Walker, 8 points, White, 9 points. I think that's Wilk, 5 points, and then Otto, 3 points. And then I believe that is Samantha, 5 points, and then Grace Foster, 5 points. Okay, and you can see the field goal percentages and everything like that, but here's everyone for Utah and their contribution. Here's some advanced metrics. Okay, so we got leaders in points, rebounds, and assists for both teams. Okay, so AZ led us in points. White led Utah in points. For rebounds, it was Walker. For us, it was AZ, so we love to see that, like I was kind of saying earlier. For assists, it was Evans, and then for us, it was Sarah Strong. Okay, scoring by quarter, 8-32, insane. 11-12, 5-29, and then 17-20. Okay. And then here's some other advanced stats that I will go over later, but they're kind of easier to see. So field goal percentage 26-54, 3-point percentage 22-44, turnovers 24-12, and then we have rebounds 32-41. Now we take a look at the advanced stats for both teams. Okay, so starting off with my team, UConn, 36-67 from the field, 54%, which is pretty good. 11-25 from the 3-point line, which is 44%, which is also pretty good. Free throw line, 10-13, 77%. Rebounds, 41 total, 12 offensive, 29 defensive, which is a great number. We look at assists, 23, steals, 15, which is amazing. Block, 6, total turnovers, 12, points off turnovers, we got 39. Fast break points or transition points, 21 points in the paint. We got 40 fouls. We had 14. No techs in this game. And largest lead was 53. And for Utah, they were 14-54 from the field, okay, which is not great, which is 26%. 8-37 from the 3-point line, which 37 threes. Who they feeling like? The Valkyries? And then from that would be 22%. 5 of 8 from the free throw line, and that's going to be 63%. Rebounds, 32, 11 offensive, 21 defensive. Assists, you got 14. Steals, you have 3. Blocks, you have none. Total turnovers, 24. Points off turnovers, they had 2. Fast break points, 6. You had points in the paint, 6. Fouls, 12, technical fouls, 0, and largest lead in this game was 0. What are my overall takeaways on this game? Why did UConn win? What did I like about this game from them? What didn't I like about this game from them? So I showed you guys scoring by quarter, and you're seeing 12 points scored in the second quarter, I believe, for us, which is just unacceptable. You know, the offense has moments where it looks really great, okay? And like I said, I think UConn has really perfected that art of making the extra pass, getting it to the open shooter, and just being unselfish for the most part. But like I said, there's times where I'm just seeing AZ wide open in the corner, or I'm seeing Sarah open, and I'm just seeing better shots available. Whenever you're going to the basket and you're seeing the defense collapsing on you, that's when you kick it out to your shooters. And just some low IQ plays that are made at that point, sometimes some selfish shots and everything, and bad shot selection. Those are things that I don't like. And when we have 12 points in the second quarter, that's a huge problem for me. So gotta be better. One of my friends said that last game teach us nothing. Okay, can't have that. Okay, and they're not a good team, but still, gotta be better in that regard. So I don't like to see that. Overall, I think that we played well. Obviously, we blew them out by like 50 points. So those things are good. I'm just kind of nitpicking and everything. It's always important to see things that you like and that you don't like, regardless of the opponent that you play. And I really do believe in that, which is why I have this section. I thought that the defense was pretty good for the most part. There were some times where we got there late to contest the threes and ultimately close out, and they got some threes on us. But for the most part, pretty stifling defense, pretty textbook. Communication on defense, being good on switching, and making the shots that they got off hard and everything. Sometimes I think that we took some dumb fouls and everything, but for the most part, I think our defense was pretty solid in this game, and then they were breaking. So, there might have been lapses in defense and everything, but for the most part, I thought that we played well on the defensive standpoint. Like I said, I think that AZ and Sarah, best players on the team, obviously. I think that Blanca, with more minutes, has proven that she can be that third scoring option. Everybody else got to step up. I still believe that he needs to change his starting lineup. I don't like what I'm getting from Ashlin Shade. I don't like what I'm getting from KK Arnold. Sarah Williams in the starting lineup. I don't know. Like, I be trying to give grace, but when it's like you have multiple games and you consistently do not perform well, what am I supposed to say? Especially when we have big games like the Michigan game, and we saw how everyone outside of AZ and Sarah performed. Okay. So you see those things, and those are things to kind of key in on. So I don't know how long it's going to take him to change the starting lineup, but I certainly think he should, with all the issues that I've talked about before. And getting back to the point that I was saying, I just feel like he's trying so hard to get KK so integrated in his offense and try to give her, I guess, like a lot of time and responsibility that the offense is suffering. Like I said, I see the offensive sets that she's running and stuff that she's doing, and just not getting the best shot available, and the court vision and the problems in transition, moving too fast in transition. A lot of the problems that you've seen previously are still there, and they're not improving. So these are things that ultimately frustrate me with that. And I feel like because of that, it's like K9's getting less minutes and stuff, and just his rotations. He was trying a lot of different stuff with the rotations, to be fair. Okay, we saw lineups with Blanca, we saw lineups with Khalees in this game, so he was trying different stuff, and I feel like after the last game, he knew he was going to kind of have to switch it up more, and especially because of the opponent, he could afford to do that earlier. So I think that we saw some positive stuff with the lineups today, and I'm really curious to see where he goes with our smaller lineup, with our bigger lineup. But like I said, majority of the team got to step up more, because it's really AZ Sarah doing everything. And so, like, one of my friends was telling me this, and I agree, but they're definitely going to have to play heavy minutes and stuff. And it's not like you can take them both out at the same time, and it's something that you shouldn't do. And so AZ, she got to rest in the fourth quarter because we were blowing them out. But she played like most of the first half, I believe, and everything. And so, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he regulates her minutes. But, more people have to step up in order of being scoring threats and everything. I mean, the last game you saw, Sarah basically played the entire game. I think the only time she had to rest was halftime. So got to get those together, and some of his rotations and stuff. I mean, that rotation in garbage time, I mean, like, he was just doing anything. And I don't really talk about garbage time on here because there's not really anything to talk about. The game is already set. And garbage time, like, they just be doing anything. They be doing anything. It's so boring to watch, and they don't really offer a whole lot of garbage time. So I can't really take that seriously in the context of a review. And especially in other teams, will be blowing them out, they're going to put out their second unit. So I can't really give praise for putting up points against their second unit. And not, like, it's different. So that's kind of why I don't talk about it. But I saw some stuff that I liked. I saw some stuff that I didn't like. What I do know, Azzi Fudd, Sarah Strong, two best players in the country. I don't care what anybody says. I love to see, what they've been on recently. The heater that Azzi's been on recently is really special to watch. You see the MVP for the last two games. So just really excited to see what happens, how the starting lineups change, and his rotations when we finally get everything set. And with our bigger games that will be ultimately coming up. But yeah, that's my takeaways. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are rotations that you liked, rotations that you didn't like? And I would just love to hear everything from you guys down below in the comments. But that's my take. Also, another important thing to add is sometimes I feel like they take too long to get AZ involved in the game, if that makes sense. So the first few games we saw them getting AZ the first shot of the game, which is something that I think should happen and that they should go back to. They went away from that, and like I said, I think they should go back to that. And there will be times where it's 4 or 5 minutes before AZ even has a shot attempt. So I get frustrated with that, and then me and my friends rewatch the last game, and again, seeing how many times AZ was open, they didn't even look her way and get her the ball, and her clapping at them, telling them, like, give me the ball. And then you saw it a couple times in this game. So there's just times where I feel they should get her involved more in the offense and everything. But I will say what I'm loving from AZ is just, taking the game in her own hands and being like, look, let me, get the rebound. Let me go coast to coast, take an opportunity to transition. Let me get the steal and all those other things. And it's being like, I'm going to take it for myself, So I really love that she's being more aggressive in that way with the scoring as well. Like I said, I feel like they should get her some more opportunities in the game. If Azzi Fudd is open, like I said, you get her the ball. Azzi's shot is going to be better than your shot, okay? Really do believe in those things. Same thing with like a Sarah Strong, for example. But just something that I noticed and I felt like was worth talking about and everything. Again, like I know we blew the team out and everything, but some of the things are things that you saw in the Michigan game, and we know how frustrated that we were in this game. So it's important, like I said, to take away things that I like and dislike from every single game and talk about it, but something that I thought was worth noting. Also, I just realized I forgot to say this, but the natural hair is back, y'all. Look at the curls. Look at the curls, bro. My hair hasn't curled like this in a while, okay? So, yeah, it was time to go back to my roots. It was time to go back to my roots with the natural hair. So, just wanted to take a second to shout it out because it's looking good today. It's looking good today. I was going to mention it at the beginning of the review, but we got the review to get to. There's bigger fish to fry, but I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, the natural hair is officially back. So, it was time.